Let's go. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I think the first thing I want to do is to link the first part of this video somewhere here. I did that when I was in Nairobi. Now that I'm out of Nairobi, I decided to think about other things that I probably didn't mention in that video. So here goes. The first thing is M-Pesa. I have missed using M-Pesa since I've been back in Nigeria. I love the ease of it. I love how every single person had a uniform way of making payment, especially because I've gone through a lot of issues with using card to pay in Nigeria. So withdrawing from making payments with your ATM card, POS, and just how we make payments here in Lagos. It's crazy, it's annoying compared to just the ease of M-Pesa. And I honestly wish we could have that in Nigeria. It's just the ease of it that I could, just from my phone. I do not need internet to make payments. I can send money to anybody as I wish. I think the part that I thought would have been different in Nigeria was if you wanted to change your cash into M-Pesa. I feel like if you had that kind of thing in Nigeria, people would charge you for changing your cash. Changing your cash into M-Pesa. So that one actually shocked me. In Nigeria, guys, the service charge on every single thing you do, even just it's wild. It can't be wild. So there was M-Pesa. Now this is looking like this part is feeling like I'm saying things I loved about Nairobi, but it's not. I'm just mentioning things that I actually didn't expect, or things that I was experiencing anew in Nairobi, right, as opposed to in Lagos. The second part was the fact that there were barely any mosques. Maybe it was, and again, guys, I think I need to mention that everybody's experience is different, right? So whatever I'm mentioning, because I got some comments about, oh, I should have gone, like I only have that opinion because I was in certain part of Nairobi. Of course, I don't expect someone that was that went to Mombasa to have the same experience as I did. This is just to say that everything I've said about Nairobi are based, or that I'm going to also say, are based on my experience, my personal experience in Nairobi. Nothing else, no external factor. Okay, thank you. So yeah, I was saying that I was a little shocked, actually not a little shocked. So I'm coming from Lagos, where there are mosques everywhere. You could even, like, you would hear call to prayer a lot. Like, you can find mosques in a lot of places. I think there are more churches, especially with the Redeemed Christian Church of God mission of having churches on every street. There are a lot of churches and also a lot of mosques. It was very surprising that there were not that many mosques. I think I probably saw just 4 mosques. And this is me just thinking about it. Jamia Mosque. There's a mosque that I usually would go by, and the mosque where I prayed Eid. I think those are the only 3 mosques that I actually saw physically with my own eyes while I was in Nairobi. And there was also the part where for Eid there was also the part where for Eid, the sermon was in Arabic. I'd only ever experienced that once when I served in Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria. Basically the same scenario with Nairobi. There were no mosques around. I think for that one I even saw just 2 mosques in the entire Calabar that I stayed. And yeah, they also, I think one was in the arts, go to for Juma in a military what they call that in military base. Yes, so that was the only other part that I experienced, only other time that I experienced sermon mainly in Arabic. And I don't remember if the sermon was in Kiswahili at all. I honestly don't remember, but I know that I was a little shocked that the sermon was in Arabic. I'm used to sermon being in Yoruba again, because I live in a Yoruba dominant part of Nigeria. When I was in uni, our imam then would say sermon in Arabic, English, and Yoruba. So I always had that Yoruba and English interpretations of the sermon. So it was a little weird that the sermon was in Arabic, and I don't understand Arabic like that. So it was a little hard to follow. The other part, this one is not a lot. I mean, it's just a little different. So in Lagos, we have our buses have colors. So I think it's different states in Nigeria, really. In Lagos, the color for buses is yellow and black. I think for mainland, on the island, is white and black, mainly white, or for commercial buses, of course. But then we also have some commercial buses that are the BRT, that is blue. There was the red one, but it's, I think, mainly the colors you would see would be black and yellow, yellow and black, mainly yellow and black, or the blue BRTs, or the red ones, or like the yellow cabs. But again, yellow dominant. You usually would, the only decoration that these buses or commercial vehicles had were stickers. But in Nairobi, guys, the mutatus that I saw with like art, more like murals, I don't know, spray painted. I think I made a video of one. It was just wild to me. And the music they play, see guys, it felt like I was in an animation. You know, when you know buses that you see in animations that are like exaggerated art and colors and all of that, those were the kind of mutatus that were shocking to me in Nairobi. Oh, there was also a time that I saw a job advert a job advert board at Sarit. And I thought it was a fantastic idea. It made so much sense. So it was a case of, it was a board. And this is for those that don't know. It was I think I made a video also. It was a board. And I don't know if people paid, what's it called, officials at Sarit to put those advertisements on. But you could easily just like indicate that you're looking for a job. And I think a lot of it were people that did manual work. So like a plumber, for example, would put up his advert and had the paper strips but with his phone numbers on it, so you could just go there and tear off a piece of the paper so that you have his number. I love that. I thought that was a fantastic idea. And a lot of people would have access to it. I mean, Sarit Mall is a mall that multiple people come in every single day. So the regular people that you wouldn't have access to, or that you probably would not even be able to reach, that was just a fantastic idea. And I thought it would make sense if that was done in a lot more places. I mean, now there's social media, but imagine that being like a walking pass. So for example, if you needed, and then I saw people, drivers for example, that even posted their driver's license, so that you can already from seeing the advert tell that they are qualified for the job. You know, I thought that was fantastic. There was also the part where in a lot of places that I went to in Nairobi, they asked for your ID. I think a lot of it was even asking for your ID number. That's national ID number. I have never ever been to any place in Nigeria that would require me to indicate what my national ID number was, except people filling documents, official documents and things like that. But for here, even at W Place, before you wouldn't be allowed to go into the compound without, you have to, it's like they have to like open, you have to register in a way, and you're indicating your name and your national ID. I think they also did a photocopy of our ID cards. I can't even remember. So of course mine was my passport, but then they had for the Nairobi, the Kenyan indigenes, their national ID. It was just interesting that a lot of places, offices, a lot of buildings would ask for all of these details. I guess it's also because of security. Yeah, in the same vein is paid parking. So in Nigeria, in Lagos, I mean, a lot of places have parking spaces. I think that's even generally in Nigeria. Offices, schools, buildings have parking spaces, and you're not required to pay to park, except if it's actually a paid parking place. So there are, for example, if you go to Eco Market, there are parts of the market that you can actually park your car and you pay to park there, but it's not timed, it's not even automated in any way. They just tell you parking here is 200 naira, parking here is 500 naira, parking here is 1000 naira. As opposed to I think the only places that you actually pay for parking as you do in Nairobi that I experienced are malls in Nigeria. So ShopRite, well, Ikeja City Mall, there's also Jara Mall that I've experienced. I think every mall now you get to, so there was a time that you would get a few minutes, I think 30 minutes free, and then you pay for a certain amount after that, and then like that increases as you as based on how long you stay. But it was very rampant in Nairobi. I don't know why that is, but most buildings in Nairobi you get to, that I experienced though, guys, you get to pay for parking. Very interesting. All right, that brings us to the end of this video, but I wanted to actually say this. In the last video that I made, the culture shock video that I made, somebody mentioned why I didn't mention electricity. I think I just need to clear this. When I say, the things that shocked me or were interesting to me were the things that I mentioned. So first thing is, I, on a normal day, think that 24-hour electricity should be normal, right? Even given the fact that I live in a country where it is not, that doesn't mean that I think that it shocks me that a country or a place has 24-hour electricity. Like, it doesn't faze me that much. I love it, yes, but I've also experienced, so first thing is that the place I stayed before I moved back to my family house, we had almost 20-hour electricity, and on an average every day. So it wasn't too new that there was electricity every single minute of the day, right? That's one. Oh well, that's two. So I mentioned the fact that I don't think it's too extra to have 24-hour electricity, and I've also experienced electricity for a long time. In my family house now, we have, like, if there's no electricity, we turn on the generator. So I think that the culture shock is not even, so yeah, so electricity, 24-hour electricity wasn't a culture shock to me. I think Nigeria is trash on that level. The fact that we do not have 24-hour electricity, absolute trash. So I'm not shocked by it. Also, guys, don't forget that I was on a work trip, so I wasn't staying in a rented apartment or anything, or yeah, like you get like regular rented apartment. I stayed in a hotel and then Airbnb, where you get 24-hour electricity on a normal day anywhere in the world. So for example, here at this Airbnb, there's 24-hour electricity, because that comes with the service, right? So I wasn't expecting not to have electricity at all. Let's not forget that. I just wanted to mention the part that I didn't realize how much of what the effect of generator noise was going to have in my life. So again, in Nairobi for over 2 months, and I came back without hearing generator sound for once. Came back to Lagos and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep well, apart from the fact that I was ill, like I mentioned in my last video, for a month. One of the things that even caused my frustration was the fact that I couldn't sleep well, because again, no electricity, and then we turn on the generator, and that generator noise just messed up my sleep. I wouldn't be able to sleep. By the time I fall asleep, I just sleep very miserably. It was terrible. Yeah, I just wanted to add that to it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments down below. I'd like to engage with you. Also check out my other videos, and I will see you in the next one.